Perfect.
So we're going to be talking about today why you guys should never draft a halfback. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of you guys out there that are still going to want to draft a halfback. You're going to see a guy, and that's fine. There's no problem with drafting a halfback, but what I'm going to be telling you guys today is that there's more value in actually not drafting a halfback. You could sit back and be, more observant on who you want, and you can actually pick the ratings that you want and fine tune the exact halfback that you want. For example, you guys can move a wide receiver to halfback and have a much faster option with more of a receiving option as well, because wide receivers tend to make better halfbacks and halfbacks make halfbacks. We've talked about that a lot. The other thing as well is that you're going to have the ability to be more selective, and you're going to profit more from smaller micro transactions such as trading, such as free agency. Now we're going to go over some of these here. And the first one that I want to talk about is trading for halfbacks. And I do have to apologize to all the Houston Texans fans. I feel bad for you guys. DeAndre Hopkins just got traded for David Johnson. They exchanged 4th-round picks, and then Houston gets a 2nd-round pick on top of David Johnson and the exchange of 4th-round picks. But it's a ludicrous trade. And it just, what we've been trying to tell people over the years that, people will nitpick and get upset about trades that we make, saying it's unrealistic. And this is one reason why we tell people, don't be so judgmental in trades, because crazy trades happen all the time, especially if Bill O'Brien's your general manager. But they just do. In the NFL, Marcus Peter trade, you're talking Jadeveon Clowney, DeAndre Hopkins, you're talking even the Matt Flynn back in the day. You're talking so many different trades are just crazy. So don't be so judgmental on trades of that. They would never do something, right? You hear that, and it's just people take such a huge stance on it and such a strong stance, and they just can't predict what's actually going to happen in real life. So that's just something we want to talk about, but we apologize to all you Houston Texans fans, because my Lord, you have to be pissed. But anyways, the first one we're going to talk about is trading for Christian McCaffrey. Now, Christian McCaffrey is he's pretty easy to trade for. For example, I would use like a mid 1st-round pick. Now, I traded this for the Jaguars. It was very, very simple to trade for this pick on the Jaguars. Very easy to do. And then what I would do is look at team needs here. And what's interesting about the team needs is you could do the SAR and try and fill some of these team needs. Now, left tackle would be a position I would stay away from unless I was doing the SAR, because if you want to do the SAR, you can go get David Bakhtiari, right, and then trade them a left tackle, which is the top of their team needs, and David Bakhtiari is going to have a huge trade value. You're going to be able to get Christian McCaffrey easy and for free, because you really didn't have to trade much to get David Bakhtiari. So now you could do that with the team needs. Now, in reality, I would look for positions that are easy to replace, right? Now I would do like D tackle, showing a green interest here. Okay, I like that. The next step of what I would do is I'd go left outside linebacker. Now, you may find on certain teams that they like free safeties, even though, whatever. So right here, the trade almost goes through. It's at the T of the Texans, right? So what that tells me here is that I'm not going to keep trying to upgrade the draft pick, right? 1st-round pick, 14th, too much to begin with. I'm not willing to try and go in, get higher amounts of draft picks and then trade them to the Panthers here. So I would have to then go into actual control of, hey, I got to get a better guy, right? So a guy I would go for would be D tackle. Now, you can get Geno Atkins pretty cheap, and you're just hoping that the Panthers can cover his salary. So whatever team you're trading with, you always want to make sure that, hey, could the salary be covered? I would use a yellow interest halfback here, a guy that you could pick up from the free agency, go 4th, 5th-round pick. I would use next year picks at this point. Always ask for picks back. But this is what I would do. Now, you're going to have to back all the way out, because as you guys know, it's just ridiculous with the system. The guy will just disappear. But this is what I would use. So then I would go back to that. I would probably even just go 2nd-round pick. And then I would use a left outside linebacker now. And then I would go back to the Panthers. Now, if this doesn't work, you just keep, upgrading here and there in little ways, and you should be fine. You should be good to go. But your whole goal is to just, pay as low of amount as possible. And what's great here is they have the cap room. Christian McCaffrey is already in, he's already in his rookie contract. You have another year to prepare for that. And then here I would ask for, I'd give him a 14th pick. And then, I'd ask for a 5th round, some kind of pick back. You could see that they're asking for They're starting to go into the Smeege effect. Well, we agreed on a bargain deal of this. And some may say, well, that's actually a lot. Well, no, it isn't, because I could get Geno Atkins back pretty simple. In fact, I can get a much better guy back than that. Now, the next one I want to talk to you about is the SAR. Now, we always want to bring up the SAR because we want you guys to know that the SAR is available, and it's something that you guys could utilize in your weaponry, your trading weaponry. Always thinking of every single avenue of, hey, how am I going to bring on a better halfback? And not only that, guys, be selective at who you want. If you want a guy who is super fast, well, pick a guy who's super fast. Don't bargain even with yourself and say, I'm going to take less than what I should, or than what's going to make me successful. And just do that. I think people settle too much. I really do. In the game of Madden, they settle too much, and they don't actually know what ratings are best going to fit them. And they could even be good players too. These guys could be fantastic Madden players, and they're really good, but they'd be even better if they found players that are going to be beneficial to their individual skill set of what they need. So I picked up 3 random halfbacks. Now, many of you guys already know exactly what's going to happen here. And, and this is the SAR. This is to show you another easy way to go and get, whatever halfbacks you want. And I'm not going to use Duke Johnson. I would use Clement. Clement, I believe, is the one who's actually really fast. Now, the Browns have 2 good halfbacks. So if you see this anywhere, even in free agency, the fantasy draft, if you see this anywhere, okay, so they're coming up on a cap room issue, and that's fine. That's great. Now, I couldn't take from halfbacks there, and they're short just a little bit of money. Now, this would be great and easy because more than likely you'd be able to get Crabtree for probably pretty easy. In fact, you may be able to even do this, which would not be a good idea because you need the SAR to work, actually. So you don't want to trade one player for one player. I would just give up a 3rd-round pick, if something like that. Yeah, so you can see it's pretty simple to get him, not the hardest. But let's say, hey, you want to keep him, I would give him, I don't know. There's just so much you can give him. And Cootie, you may not want to give away because he's young, but I replaced him. So you notice I traded for a draft pick. I pulled on the draft pick and I gave him a player. Okay, because I wanted them to still be at a 53-man roster. So even though I gave him that 3rd, I could get Cootie back. So always remember that certain positions, certain players that you could get back, fairly easy. And in fact, here I'd probably even ask for like a 5th-round pick, and get as much as possible. But you notice I went to, and you can see here, what's his name is gone, and that's the SAR. So the SAR works. Now the final way that I want to talk about is I want to talk about the free agency signing period. Now, Kareem Hunt would probably be one that would go into the free agency signing period. He's a typical guy that you're going to see there anyways in the free agency signing period. You just made it, quicker and faster by doing all of this in the regular season with the SAR. Now let's jump to the off season here and go to the free agency signing period and then talk about it there. Okay, so just in general, the free agency signing period is usually going to have multiple halfbacks, especially if you start out. When we started out in custom rosters. Many of you guys already know this, custom rosters, and we start out in preseason custom updated rosters. So that's what we started out with because you can play the season. So we already have Christian McCaffrey. Now you already see up here Austin Eckler, Matt Breida, Lamar Miller, Jordan Howard. There's tons of guys up here. And what's great about most of these guys, in fact, is you're going to be able to, still sign them to pretty good deals. There's tons of deals. Now we're going to have a video on this, so I'm not going to actually dive into the contracts here, but many of you guys already know how we operate with contracts, and we sign guys to really favorable deals for you guys in the long haul. But this is just to show you here, and a lot of these guys, you're going to be able to even get to 7-year deals for really cheap amounts if you're playing in solo league, or if you just have a few buddies in a league. And then, don't hesitate also to be going to wide receiver and to be hiring some of these guys who you believe is going to be a good halfback. And it's pretty simple. It's actually not that difficult to find out if some of these guys are going to be pretty good at halfback. You're looking at overall speed. The catching is not something that's huge. It's an added bonus. But overall speed, your speed, acceleration, agility, kind of like the combo. And then on top of that too, the carrying is something that's is beneficial. And this guy I just picked out, I don't even know how good he is. But what I can see here, 73 elusiveness. He's all right. But a 76 carrying, kind of shocking. Juke move 76, okay stamina. But this guy by himself, he'd be a decent halfback. At least he'd be a decent halfback in Sim too, because I'm guessing I don't see his awareness. But he's got even a 67 ball carry vision, which is not even that bad. It's kind of weird. But anyways, that guy would be okay. I mean, I'm not even going to lie. He'd be okay, which is weird, but he just would. So with that being said, guys, you're going to find a lot of halfbacks. Now, there's no reason with just the halfbacks that we picked up, Kareem Hunt, we got Christian McCaffrey. You can honestly spend a first-round pick on a halfback, but if you always know that you have a halfback that you can, get a high overall halfback, an 89 overall star development, or a 99 overall superstar X factor, or you can move a wide receiver to halfback, why would you spend a first-round pick on that position that so easily obtainable at a high overall, and you can pick the exact stats that you want, and you can sign them incredibly cheap? Really you have to ask yourself what's important here of going with what, hey, I want to do, or what is the best business decision. And the best business decision is very easy, is to either trade, pick one up in the free agency signing period, move one, do a position switch from wide receiver. Those three are going to be far more effective because you're going to be able to sign them to a much cheaper deal too in the long run. And there's just no reason to spend $20 million guaranteed of what you're going to spend drafting a halfback. So just ask yourselves what's beneficial in every category, whether it's lineman, whether it's QB, whether it's whatever position, it doesn't matter. Even, it just doesn't matter. Always trying to think business sense and then go from there. I hope this video helped you guys. Make sure everyone is staying safe in today's, day of all this crazy stuff that's happening. Guys, stay safe. We just want to make sure that you guys are having as much fun as possible. As much as you can in horrible times like now, and I don't really even know what to say. I'm just want you guys all to be safe, and we wish that we could just make your guys' days as good as possible. So with that being said, guys, Tips for Gamers here. I'm Dodds, and on behalf of all of us, we wish you guys the best and stay safe, and we're going to keep providing content to you all. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy.